everybody. Welcome to the 3W podcast. This is part 2 of my podcast with Ann Jackson from
Arts 1%.
That's right. Tell us what you do.
I'm the executive director of the organization. We're a nonprofit arts organization that is based out of Springdale, but serves all of Northwest Arkansas.
Okay. So, Ann, welcome back.
Thank you.
Again.
Love it.
Again.
Yes, I love being back.
And I know we talked about all things Arts 1 a year ago.
We did.
But I want to talk about the 2 performances this year in 2025 or in 25 and the upcoming ones.
Yes.
So let's start with The Sound of Music. And full disclaimer, I'll throw myself right under the bus. I did not make it to any of them because my kids take up all the time. And I really, really wanted to because our dear friend Allison McRoy, who's been on the podcast before, was in Sound of Music. But that was your first show to be at the Medium since the name change with Arts 1 and ACO. Yes. So let's dive into that.
Really since the sale of the building, and, us becoming Arts 1, this was the first time we've produced a show back in that space.
And it's a cute space.
Yeah, the theater is great. It's home for a lot of people. And it's really kind of special and meaningful. It's a smaller space for us, really, because we're now, used to doing large shows on the Don Tyson School of Innovation, Performing Arts Theater stage. And it was great. So we did Sound of Music. We kind of did it a very unique way. There's no longer an orchestra pit at the theater, but that's okay because with this show in particular, we really wanted to put the orchestra on stage and seen the entire time. Oh, and so the way that this one was staged was the orchestra is part of the scenery and the setting, and they were intertwined into the set. Oh wow! And so that was really beautiful and really cool. And I kind of was. I'm like, orchestra members may be used to being more behind the scenes and all of that. Like, how are they going to feel? Like,
how did they feel?
They loved it.
Oh, good. They're finally getting the attention they deserve.
Yes, they really loved it. And so, that was really
Whose
fun
idea
experience.
was that part? Is that a director thing or?
Well, it was actually from an organization standpoint. And actually one of our former directors introduced me to the idea, the wonderful Coleman Clark, as we talked about how to do certain styles of shows with limited set design. So you can, for budget reasons, so you can have some different styles of theater.
Is this something you have to learn daily, kind of?
All the time.
Okay.
All the time. And so he said, I really want you to watch, this, when the Kennedy Center did Sweeney Todd and how they did it. And you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. And I did, and I was like, sold. And so we took that and said from an organizational standpoint, this is what we're going to do. So when we had the, music director kind of became the director of the show. And we had an assistant director as well. Wow. But the show had its angle at that point. It was very music focused because Sound of Music is very music focused.
It is.
It's a great show to do in this style and in this format. And having an orchestra on stage with everyone was just a really cool experience and something that most people haven't done before on the orchestra side or the actor side. So that was really cool. And it was great. We did 5 performances of that show.
That's so innovative.
Yeah, it was really neat.
So you get feedback. I feel like you do surveys after every show. Was that mentioned?
Every one of them pretty much was, I love seeing the orchestra on stage. I love seeing the orchestra on stage. Wow. And from even the orchestra members, it was really cool to be able to experience the show while we were kind of part of the show.
I love it.
And it was a very simple stage and setting. And that part didn't change much. There might have been a prop or two brought on, but there was a very static, simple set.
Wow.
And the orchestra is built into that. And the actors come and go from different directions and angles, and there were different levels. And yeah, it was just really cool. But people loved seeing it staged that way. I was worried that people were going to feel like they missed out on something, but we didn't get that feedback at all. And everybody was like, that was very cool how that was done. And I think you understood once the orchestra is on stage, you don't have a lot of stage left to like to block it, you know, like in a traditional way. So yeah.
Oh wow, because it's not a big stage. The last production I saw there was Mamma Mia, like a couple years before COVID, I feel like. And it's not a big venue. It's not a big stage. It's very intimate.
Yeah, it's about a 370 seat theater.
Yeah. Which is like a third or fourth of the Don Tyson School of Innovation.
Correct. And so it allows for certain types of shows to be done really cool and well there, because I feel like campy shows work really well there, and all kinds of shows, really. There's some shows that on a how they need to be stage spaces or the sheer number of people in them need to be in a bigger theater. So we kind of, when we look at our show selections for the future, we look at what shows work best in which setting.
Okay. Which is also, you have to buy the rights.
We do.
Right? I didn't know this. I was speaking to a theater person a few weeks ago. She gets her nails done right after me. And she was super involved with Arkansas Public Theater.
Yes.
Down in Rogers.
Yes.
And she was talking about like the funding and that these shows can cost a lot up front. And I had no idea. I just thought you were like, you did like a Google search. What do we want to do? And things were, you could print scripts and go. I'm not from that background, so it didn't even dawn on me.
Well, you know,
you would buy rights per se.
Well, until you do it on the administrative end, it's different. It's a whole new ball game. But yeah, every show, unless it's in public domain like Shakespeare or something, you have to buy the rights to them.
Is it a one-time purchase, like to use at any point, or like one purchase, one production?
When you apply, they ask you the dates of your production, how many shows you'll be doing in that time frame, and it is by show, by performance. Yes.
So we're
and it
2
also
weekend
matters.
runs.
Well, for the summer show, we do 2 weekends, and for other shows, we do one because of venue cost and all kinds of things. But yeah, lots goes into those kind of decisions. But it's number of shows. It's also size of the theater and how many tickets you think you're going to sell, and the average ticket price.
So this isn't a flat cost.
No.
Like you get to buy the show for $5,000.
There's like a formula. And correct. There is a formula. So it's not a one-stop shop to where, like, when you go look for rights for a show, you basically have to apply to see if you're going to be eligible. Things can make you not eligible, which means there's potentially someone else in a certain radius of you is doing the same show in the same year, and they try not to do that. And there's different reasons for that, or the people who hold the rights don't want it to be in a theater less than X amount of seats or something like that. But yeah, so it's not black and white, sadly. And so I do a lot of applying for a lot of shows and a lot of like guessing of when we might do them, just to see if we could get them, and what those costs might be. It's a lot. And I mean, I totally admit there was one show I thought we were going to do this year. And so last year when I was looking at the rights for it, I had some sticker shock, and I was like, next. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. And so, I mean, it can just be a lot.
Do you have to just kind of throw a bunch of darts on the wall and see what sticks?
Honestly, yes.
So you're like,
we do.
I'm just going to apply for these 3 shows these, let's say 6 shows over the next 3 years, and just see if any of these stick.
And I will say 90% of what we want, we would get.
Okay.
I've really only had one that we didn't get that surprised me. But what I assumed from that is someone in our radius is doing that.
Okay.
And that's why. They don't really tell you.
Oh, dang.
And so, yeah, so it's interesting. But the majority of what, we'll apply for, we will probably get. You'll go to some shows like, well, now I don't want to give anything away that we might do in the future, but you'll go to some shows that may be a little newer, that don't have the rights out yet. If there is a show that's going on tour, for instance, our very first summer musical that we were going to do was Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812.
Okay.
Someone's going to tell me I'm wrong on that.
That's fine.
But Natasha Pierre, we were approved for, and that was like still coming out of COVID, but Broadway was also at that point figuring out what they were doing coming out of COVID.
Right.
And so that show decided to go on tour like at the same time as we were getting the rights.
Okay.
And so we were like approved, declined. And so, yeah, it was like a weird, normally that doesn't happen, but that was just kind of like a timing situation of like their tour. Yeah. So if it's going on tour, that's another reason you may not get a show.
That makes sense.
And then if it's still on Broadway, you're not going to get that show either.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't realize that.
For the most part.
Okay. So you bought sound. So if you wanted to do sound again, do you have to reapply? You already have all the assets, right?
You do have to reapply. You can only use it for that time frame and those
the
specific
one that you
shows.
applied
You do.
Okay.
And for most rights holders, you have to, and companies that hold the rights to these shows, you have to send back materials. You don't get to keep anything.
Oh.
And all of that is, again, all of that's because of copyright and all of that.
Okay.
Even to do, because I know people will, some people will ask about this or wonder about this, even to do a song from a show at this gala, I have licensed the right to that song.
Oh, so like the 9 performances that we just talked about in part 1, which I would assume all have some component of music, or let's just say half of them do. You've had to get approval or purchase.
And it's not like purchasing the whole show by any stretch.
Right, just a song.
Yes. Yeah, which is kind of a different licensing structure, the way you do that. But yeah, all of these things.
Okay, which goes back to why we need funds.
Correct.
Which is what the gala is raising for.
Correct, yes.
Because nobody knows, like, it's just the general public, we want everyone to have access to it, but nobody realizes the cost. I mean, I personally just think of like the venue and some sets and some costumes.
Yeah.
Right. I guess some lights and all those things. But I don't think about people being paid.
Yeah.
Because I'm like old school, right? Where community theater, and we talked about that some part 1, used to be volunteer or mostly volunteer, right? So that's what I think of. And then I don't think of rights to anything.
I think to give a range and an idea, I think we've paid anything, again, the show dependent, anything from $6,000 to $16,000 for rights to a show. And, your Disney shows are going to be higher.
Oh,
that's just kind of a known
like
thing
a beauty.
Usually. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's probably the highest show we've done. Wizard might be second.
Okay.
But yeah, so you're going to get some higher cost with those bigger names and bigger brands.
Okay.
But yeah, so rights to a show, the venue space. If you have to rent venue space, that's usually a large part of your budget.
Okay.
And we have our secret sauce is in our live music, I think. And it just really elevates everyone's performance to have live music and to play with live musicians.
It's kind of jaw-dropping on the first. Like music comes in, but then like the first performance of a show, and you're like, oh, this is like, there's people down there playing
Yes. And, and what's great about even like Don Tyson, they don't have a pit either. And so people are always like, where's the orchestra? We didn't see a pit.
Are they behind?
They are at the back of the stage.
Okay.
So we have
blocked,
a scrim.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes depending on the set design, sometimes you can peek and see them and sometimes you can't. But we had a scrim up for Wizard of Oz. And then they come out at the end and do the bows, and people are like, oh my gosh, there was an orchestra back there,
But you can absolutely tell.
Yes.
Like you can tell the difference between live, and I'm going to butcher it because I don't know what the other word would be, but like piped in music.
That's exactly right. For sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Pre-recorded music that you're piping in. And some shows I think are totally fine to have that. And then there's some shows that I'm like, the live music is just...
It sets it apart.
It does. And so we have kind of really have this commitment to this being part of our formula as well for us doing shows.
And you love live music. You're a live music junkie.
A little bit of a live music junkie, yes. And so I really like that we also give our local musicians these paid opportunities to work on something like this, because a lot of them don't necessarily get to work on theater shows. They're doing other kinds of classical performance, and for them to get to play like a full show of Sondheim was incredible for a lot of those musicians. And so those just start adding up. And in community theater, you can pay crew members, but you cannot pay cast members. That is what sets community theater apart. And
are you all classified
as community theater?
Okay, so we have classifications of theater.
You do. You have amateur, which amateur is community theater. You have youth theater, school theater, and professional theater.
Oh.
Yeah.
And are any cast members paid outside of professional theater? In like youth theater, I believe you can pay some actors and things, because a lot of times they'll pay adult actors to be in some of those shows, like depending. So there are ways in which people go about doing that. But for true community theater, actors are not paid. Wow.
And the way I kind of explain it is, for people who participate in community theater, they're not professional actors per se, or if they are, they do that, but they have jobs.
Right.
Everybody has kind of their day job.
Yes.
And, we have attorneys in shows. We have medical professionals in shows. We have accountants in shows, teachers in shows. So
that's kind of
every
one of my most favorite parts.
It is
to see what these people really do.
You may see your dentist in a show, and so it really is cool to see, people from your community and see this side of them that you may not have known that they had. Did you know that your neighbor could really like belt some notes, So it's really cool. So that is part of the reason. With musicians, that is typically, not all the time, but typically that's how they live. They are playing gigs.
So your orchestra people, the ones that literally make it up, that's their profession out in the wild, essentially.
Yeah, for most of them.
Okay.
And
because in my head, these were just fun side hobbies or side hustles, whatever, whichever H you want to insert, that they're just amazingly talented at.
Right. And
because it is Northwest Arkansas. Is that a huge...
I would say a lot of our orchestra members, you'll see playing with Sona.
Okay.
And you'll also see minors and youth playing in our orchestras too. And what a cool opportunity for them. And they're usually just getting kind of like class credit and all of that. But cool opportunity for, to sit next to a professional musician who plays with the Symphony of Northwest Arkansas.
Like a dream come true.
And, one of the finest clarinets or something in the area is sitting next to you playing the same show you're playing. So that's really a cool, unique experience. But yeah, so musicians are usually this is their job. Gotcha. This is their gig.
Okay,
this is another gig for them.
I'm with you.
And you know, we definitely don't pay retail value for sure. We call everything that, you know, we do stipends because it's truly
retail value.
It's truly a stipend in that sense. And then crew members too, depending upon depending upon the person. The last couple of shows that we've had, our costume designer, she's a teacher, and she also teaches like martial arts and things too, but she is a school teacher, and she loves doing costume design for people.
So she can bust out some Karate Kid, teach you some math, yes. and make you the most amazing costume.
For sure. She did Beauty and the Beast and Wizard of Oz.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Sound of Music. So anyway, so yeah, you just never know. And then, you know, our technical director is a professional technical director in real life too, and in all sense of that meaning for what he does. And so yeah, you'll have professionals in certain fields for sure, and a lot of those production people do production in their everyday life as their paid gigs
that makes
too.
Sense.
And then some, this is a true passion project for.
That's a good mix.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So that was just Sound of Music.
Yeah, Sound of Music. It was great. We loved it.
Great. Let's touch on Wizard, because you're just closing Wizard.
Yes.
And I saw some amazing graphics, I would say, around Wizard, like the makeup on Elphaba, and the you all redid the poster. I feel like and then how you activated at the hardware stores with the witch feet. It was just 360 all encompassing.
Well, and there's just, you got to big or go home on Wizard of Oz right now, you know, like, and really any show. But, you know, I really wanted to use the opportunity of being kind of sandwiched between the two Wicked movies to say, okay, but here's the...
Did you play in that?
Yeah, totally. Okay. Love that marketing opportunity. For sure.
Because if you didn't, that was amazing as well.
Well, you know, it's... So many kids that love Wicked have never seen The Wizard of Oz. It's shocking. It's shocking. Actually, our board chair...
Like, how's that even allowed?
I know. Our board chair at every curtain speech before every performance of The Wizard of Oz would say, how many of you all have, you know, this will be the first time you're seeing The Wizard of Oz? Hands would go up. And she would say, okay, that's not Wicked. And I think, it's not Wicked, but you're going to see Wicked was more of like the backstory of then how they became their characters. So it's not like you're seeing the origination, but you're seeing the original story that Wicked sprang from and gave you that backstory for. So anyway, it's just really what a classic show to do. And we knew that to do it, we were going to have to be extremely innovative with technology because, you know, I will say this, but everybody was like, are you going to fly the witch? Are you going to fly the monkeys? And all of that. Though that is super cool and we would have loved to have done that, that is also extremely expensive to do.
Right. Insurance on top of that.
Yes, there's a lot of cost associated with that, especially if the theater's not already equipped for it and you have to bring things in and whatever. So, and there's a lot of other safety precautions for sure. So we decided that we would go a technology route, and we utilized this scrim that is a kind of a mesh screen that really kind of diffuses what you're seeing on stage. We used that. We used projection. We projected on that as well. So what you're seeing happening in Kansas with the tornado was equal parts technology and kitsch. you know? And so like, yes, you might have had some dancers on stage with, you know, a cow or something. But you also had some kind of cool lightning effects and storm effects happening on this scrim and being projected that
I love that.
Looked amazing. Yeah. So we knew that this show was going to take a lot and that we wanted to do it justice. And I think we really did. I think we pulled that off. The cast was incredible. Yes, our Wicked Witch of the West, Lynn Manning, she also played Mrs. Potts in Beauty and the Beast.
Was fantastic.
And to see her going from Mrs. Potts to the Wicked Witch of the West.
I can't even imagine. They're not the same.
Hysterical. It was so good. And so, yeah, she was fantastic. And we kind of recreated the poster, kind of that Wicked look. With her, and it was just great. We did some fun stuff with this marketing wise as well. We went to all 4 of the major Northwest Arkansas cities to do mayor meetings with the mayor of Munchkinland. And so the mayor of Munchkinland met with the mayors from Fayetteville, Springdale, Rogers, and Bentonville, and presented them with a key to Oz. And so we got some really cool marketing from, and just promotional opportunities from doing that. And within all of those cities, we did kind of something fun with Munchkins, like wreaking havoc across the city or across the downtown or in a store or something like that. Bentonville, we had some of the cities, unfortunately, it rained on the days that we were there. And so it was
all
a little
it did was
hard.
Rain in April, May, and June.
It totally did. And then when we went to Bentonville, it was a gorgeous day. And Lynn, who works for Bentonville Schools, actually came in Wicked Witch of the West attire, and we went all over downtown, and she stayed in character the whole time.
That's amazing.
And so every dog that passed, whatever, she was like talking to as the witch. It was so funny. We're probably going to be releasing like clips of that for years because it's just so good.
As you should.
That show that happened 3 years ago.
It's okay.
This was
it's
a funny
still
moment.
relative.
Yeah, totally.
It's still like access.
It is access.
It's constant access.
So we did 8 performances of that show. It was amazing. I was really sad to see that show go. It was one that I felt like I could have watched over and over and not ever gotten tired of. It was so good.
Did you have a bunch of Dorothy's show up like you did in Belle?
Yeah.
Or Beauty?
We did.
Even though they raised their hands and haven't seen it?
Yes. Dorothy's and Glinda's were big on this one.
Okay.
Everybody wanted to be a princess.
For sure.
Witch as well. And so, but Dorothy's... for sure came out in full force. And we love when people get so excited that they're going to come in costume. So that was great. We had a live dog. We had a real Toto in the show, which of course was a big crowd awe moment.
Wasn't it a rescue?
She was. Okay. Yeah. So we worked with Big Paws.
I remember
of the Ozarks.
Social on this.
We worked with Big Paws of the Ozarks and said, hey, we have this idea. Would this at all be something that a dog in your realm could do? And Matt with Big Paws, who's also a trainer and an incredible trainer, was like, yeah, actually, we have this dog who was a rescue. She is now homed with her new family. So she was no longer up for adoption, but her name was Juniper, or is Juniper, and Juniper.
I know. Yes. I'm like, no, was because now she's show, Toto.
Yeah, she was Juniper. Now she's Toto, but she was awesome. She was the star of the show
for sure.
And we had a couple of very specific moments where we had her come on and off and be in scenes. And then we did have a fake Toto for other scenes where Toto would need to be like stuffed in a basket or something,
right.
Yes. And so, but she was just awesome. Like she really just nailed it. Like every time.
Every time for 8 shows.
Yeah. And there's just specific little things and ways in which she knew commands and what to do. And then her human family was extremely proud to come every night too and walk her, through the crowd at the end, and she would sign autographs.
Of course she would.
Yeah.
Everyone needs a autograph.
It was the cutest thing ever. So we loved working with Big Paws for that. So thank you, Big Paws. And then we also did because, Friends of Toto, just why would you not want to capitalize on Friends of Toto?
Right.
So it gave us a reason to highlight a couple of our great organizations like Big Paws and like Best Friends of Northwest Arkansas. So we did an event there as well, where we did a book reading of The Wizard of Oz from Toto's perspective. And so that was cool. And we read to humans and dogs, which was fun.
Yes.
And then we all got to play pet dogs and cats and play. And it was so fun. Yeah.
Wow. I love that.
Yeah, so it was cool. We did those. Good. And then we did a couple of activations at the Bentonville Public Library as well, where we did story time with kids. And we...
you set the bar high.
We did.
You kind of went here to here.
We did some crazy community engagement with this show.
Yes.
And, and here's what it takes. It takes the participants and the community members to say, hey, my skill is this, and I really want to help you do that. And Madison Stevie was that person who came and said, you know what, I love community engagement, and I would love to help you do that for this show.
I mean, it was next level.
It was next level. And she was able to help do that. Yeah. And and the thing is of course, I would love to do things all the time, and there's just a time, my schedule can only go so far.
It can.
And so, we had someone do that. We had someone say, hey, I love doing social media for these shows and really like doing these reels and all the TikTok,
it's
stuff that
my
people
wheelhouse,
do me same. And, but I'm like, this person knows how to do it and wants to do it. I'm going to give you the, here's the reins, you take it and run with it. And that's why you got some incredible, funny marketing promo stuff from that show.
Wow.
Because people want to do it. People in the community who want to do it, they're so good at it, and I want them to do it.
I hope next summer's show is this and more.
Me too. Yeah, and then that's the thing is we still have 2 shows left, and I still say 2.5 because of the gala is a production. And we still have 2.5 shows left of this year, and we are already planning for next year.
To.
So I keep it under wraps for a while, and then we'll release it hopefully around gala time. And so we have about 2 shows 95% locked in.
Okay.
And then we'll see what a third one might be. And I'm pretty sure I know what that one is too.
Okay.
And yeah, we're just kind of working out the details again of the venue, the time of year, what works well. So we're getting those things lined out because the minute that you're doing the summer show, people want to know what you're doing next year.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm dying to know because you blew it out of the water so much with Wizard and the show. And I didn't get to see the show. I admit that. I'm still sad. But I saw the community engagement before and after. And so I kind of felt like I saw the show.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm like, you lit it up from beauty. So it's big shoes to fill. Your own big shoes to fill.
Yeah, we seem to
big ruby
continue to set a bar and a new bar and a new bar.
And it's moving up.
Yeah, we love it. We do love creating magic. And that is kind of what theater is. Theater is a magical experience for people. I have kind of what I call a magic moment list from a show. And so we kind of look at a show's opportunities to have magic moments and what we think audiences may be kind of dazzled by and kind of that surprise and delight. So we like to give that experience as much as possible. And we, can't wait to do that with the next show and the next show and the next show.
So far.
Yeah. And then the next show.
Speaking of the next show.
Yes. James and the Giant Peach.
Youth-driven theater.
Youth-driven theater.
This is a new focus.
It is. So we had a student come to us last year and said, I have an idea for, and he had been in our shows before, and he said, I have an idea for an all youth produced show. We have a group of us who have this like kind of informal council, and we would love to do a fully youth show that we get to direct, that we get to costume design, that's all youth. And so I said, come pitch me. And they did. And so
were you blown away?
I was, because they could answer every question I had. And it was great. And so we talked through shows that they would want to do, how that would work, what that could look like. And all of that, from all of that was born Youth Driven Theater. A little of what we kind of already were doing, we have formalized. So during our summer production, specifically, we have a large number of youth that work behind the scenes on that show.
On Wizard or on James?
On Wizard.
Okay.
On the summer musicals. And every year it seems like kind of more and more youth come work behind the scenes on those shows.
Okay.
From helping build sets to painting to whatever their skill is and whatever they're interested in. Helping with costume design and building, helping with technology, running a light board or running a spotlight, doing the deck crew, moving props on and off the stage, helping with props, all of that. And they're incredibly talented youth who want to do this. And a lot of them want to do it for a living. Mm-hmm. And so they're getting extremely like important hands-on experience at, doing this with Arts One. And so Youth Driven Theater, what we did this year was we said, okay, we'll give you a show and we're going to work with you to help you produce the show. We're going to provide the structure of how we would structure planning a show.
Okay.
And we're going to provide you professional mentors for kind of each department. And then we'll help you get it licensed and all of that. And then you're going to do it. And that's what's happening right now. They are in week 2 of rehearsals, but they did auditions.
Okay. I feel like those were in June, but I could be making that up.
No, auditions were just a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I lie.
It's
I lie
okay.
all the time.
Listen, a couple of weeks ago feels like June right now. So yeah,
I remember seeing the graphics for the audition. So in my head, that was June, but yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they did auditions, they cast a show, they've been in rehearsal, and the sets being designed, the costumes are being designed, but we work with them on what a budget looks like for a show, what the licensing looks like, what the venue costs. So they kind of are getting an idea of all of the things, and then they're taking it to the next level just constantly. So I'm super excited to see this end product because these are some of the most talented youth in Northwest Arkansas who wanted to take ownership of doing something like this. They've had the opportunity to be in shows, and maybe like be the assistant on something, but not necessarily to fully execute. So we have, a minor running like concessions, and he's been helping with concessions every summer for the last several summers, and he knows it better than I do. And so that's really super cool. The costume designs that I've seen, I'm blown away by. So yeah, I'm just really excited to see.
When is this show?
This show is October 9th through 11th at the Medium.
Okay. We're back at the Medium.
We're back at the
Medium.
Medium.
So it's like you started at the Medium and you're like kind of going back to the Medium.
We are. So 3 of our 4 shows are at the Medium this year.
Oh, is the radio show at the Medium?
Okay. 1940s Radio Hours at the Medium as well in November. But yeah, so James and the Giant Peach, fully youth produced show.
Early October.
It is October 9th through 11th.
That's like
right.
around the corner.
It is around the corner. the shows are fast turnarounds. It's really crazy.
In my head, you need 6 months to plan for this, because I would need
Me too.
minimum of 6 months.
Me too. I think people would be surprised that, usually like 2 months to 3 months max is how long a show might get worked on.
Okay.
And in most ways, sometimes, there's a lot of other kind of meetings and pre-planning that happens, but yeah, so this one is coming up October 9th through 11th. Tickets are already on sale.
Right? Because it's not a summer, so we put it in one weekend.
There's one weekend, and
10, 11. Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
It's Thursday, Friday, and 2 Saturdays. So there's four performances. They are doing a 5th performance, but that 5th performance is going to be for Springdale students as a field trip.
Oh, wow.
I know. So that's our first time to really get to do that too.
I love that.
And we thought that this would be a great one for them because it's a play, not the musical version. It's a play. There is some music included, but it's a little bit shorter than our typical long musicals.
Okay.
And because youth produced it, they're going to do a youth Q&A afterwards.
It's like their own tiny film festival.
It is. It's so cool. So that's happening in October. Tickets are already on sale on our website, arts1presents.org, and look for James and the Giant Peach on the homepage. That program, our youth-driven theater program, has specific sponsorship opportunities and donation opportunities.
I can see that.
And part of it is because it's an extremely unique program of how we are kind of setting up their seed fund for future shows and for future programs of theirs.
Because this is brand new for you all.
Yeah, for sure. So this is kind of a very specific program that we're doing now that does have an opportunity for separate kind of funding sources too. But we have a matching grant with the Kerr Foundation right now that we are working on donations specifically for youth-driven theater as part of that matching grant for the Kerr Foundation.
Which is only $5,000.
It's only a $5,000 match.
Probably by the end of the year. I think you'll probably get it by the end of the year.
I hope so,
but you have to have it by April of 26.
Correct. And so we are fundraising for that. There's also a specific portion of our site on the donate page where you can help support that matching grant towards youth-driven theater right now too.
And you're going to do an ask at the gala.
Absolutely.
For this.
We sure will.
Okay, we're running tight on time.
Yes.
So let's touch on the radio show in November, because this is super unique.
I love the 1940s Radio Hour. Anybody that knows me knows that this is probably my favorite show. And it's a show that I was a part of in high school, which was a million years ago. But it is such a fun show. It's a holiday show-esque, and it is also music that you already know and love. So it's taking music, it's set in Christmas Eve in 1942. It's all takes place on one set, which is a radio studio, and how radio was done back then. So all the jingles that were done in house, and you're going to get to hear
like people trying to make the sounds in the background.
Correct.
All the thing. It's amazing.
And so that's exactly what you're going to see. It's like watching a live radio show because you're watching a live radio show from the 40s. So, you may hear Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy, which again, who doesn't know that?
Yes.
And so, but then there's, because it's Christmas Eve, there's a holiday themes and songs woven into that as well. So that one's November 20th through 23rd at the Medium.
Is that the weekend before Thanksgiving?
It is the weekend before Thanksgiving. Okay. So if you have family in town already, bring your family. This will be one that's fun for all. It's a great way to kick
off the holiday season.
It really will be. It really will be.
And it's back at the Medium.
Back at the Medium.
Said that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to do some fun things with our drink menu and all kinds of stuff.
It lends itself
it does.
To nothing but fun.
Yes. So I can't wait to bring some vintage into our world.
And it's a great way to close out your season.
Yeah, we do. We're gonna kind of have this like out with a bang with 1940s, and then we'll have announced our next year, and we'll do some planning, and hopefully maybe go to sleep for 8 hours or something.
I was driving today. I was thinking, how many hours of sleep do I really get? And I was like, It's really not to 8.
No, I know.
I wanted it to be. I wanted to surprise myself and be like, you're not really tired. You're really getting 8 hours of sleep. No, I'm not.
And it's funny when you do go from, a couple shows a year to like 4.5 shows a year. You just stay in production. And so to me, when I'm like in production, I'm like, oh, it's okay if I don't sleep. And now I'm like, okay, well, if we stay in production, no,
we gotta
recalibrate.
Exactly. I'm like, no, that's not healthy, Anne.
That's right.
Let me ask one last question. I should have asked this in part 1, but I forgot it. Now I just remembered it. We're gonna go back to gala for like 10 seconds, then we're gonna like wrap. Are you gonna do this annually?
The gala?
Yes. Are we looking at annual or every
That
other?
is the plan. Annual gala right now is the plan. And again, part of it is the necessity of keeping theater alive, keeping community theater alive. It's just going to take extra efforts to fundraise. And, for people to come see our shows, it's the best way to get to know us. And then if you haven't gotten to see our shows, we're going to give you another opportunity with a gala to show you everything we do in about 2.5 hours.
I'm so excited because back under the bus I go. I missed both shows this year. I do not plan on missing the second or the last 2. But I'm excited to see snippets from Sound and Wizard.
That's right. You're going to get a little taste of it all.
Yeah. I love it. And thank you. You and I could talk for hours on this stuff, and I soak it up, even though this was never an interest in my world, but I soak it up and I'm like, oh, this is so interesting. Oh my gosh, now I understand why we need to give to the arts and community theater. And I'm like, yes, I get it.
I know. You're going to love it. It's going to be great.
I'm going to love it. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming back. So maybe you should come back every summer.
I would love it. Okay. Anytime you want me, I'll be on this podcast.
It's a date.
Yes.
It's a date.
Thanks, Casey.
Thank you so much to Anne. Thank you to Arts One Presents. Special shout out to Hershey's, home of the salty snacks that we all love. Dot's Home Style Pretzels. Have you had cinnamon sugar?
Oh, they're my favorites.
They're to die for.
Yes.
Pirate Booty and Skinny Pops. So we need all of those at the productions, obviously.
I lived off of the cinnamon sugar ones during Sound of Music.
They're amazing. So thank you to Hershey's, and thank you to Anne and Arts One Presents, and we'll see you next time. Keep inspiring a culture of giving. Bye.